trying to think what the other question I would ask is, what would you now knowing what everything you know, what would you have told Stephen Walker as he's just getting out, starting his first job? What would be some of the important pieces of advice after you've done all the work you've done?
Well, okay, so I was an electronics nut. I was an electronics hobbyist. You know, all the things you can imagine. You know, Sheldon, just call me Sheldon, and I loved it. And the great thing about going to work for a relatively large company, in the rank organisation, I shouldn't say that, I'll bleep that out, was quite a large conglomerate at the time. And you get much bigger toys to play with. You know, I mean, imagine the people in NASA sort of sending a rocket up to the moon or Mars or wherever they're sending it. I mean, wow, what an experience. You're never going to do that as a small employer, are you? So, yeah, that was great, and I had enormous fun, and I was a reasonably creative engineer. But to be honest, by the time I got to 76, or was I 27? I was starting to feel that I wasn't going to be a great creative engineer when I was 60. So I needed to look further afield. This thing landed in my lap, and it was a real puzzle. A real puzzle. Why don't people like this equipment? I've made their lives easier. And of course, that in fact was the reason they didn't like it. Yeah. So they were regarded as the team that had the most difficult and the most important job in the company. 5,000 people in that building, and I'd made it easier. Now, it still wasn't the case that any fool could do it. I mean, you did need the skills that they had, but they saw it as chipping away at the base of their difficult job. And that's why I didn't like it. Loss of esteem, loss of status, even though it wasn't really true. But yeah, and that took me a little while to work that out, because when it comes to people, they are quite complicated, you know. So one's bad enough. You get 20, 30, 40, 100, 300. They're pretty much impossible. You certainly can't push them into doing anything. You need to support them. That way they organise themselves.